From the President of the United States. The United States of America has successfully carried out a large-scale strike against Venezuela.
I don't want to get down a weird rabbit hole here.
Hey, Segovia, back with another one. Hope everyone out there is having a good day, y'all. We got a good one coming up today, y'all. We got Venezuela raided. We got 1 in 3 of Gen Z are no longer here. We got Jordans exposed. We got Ninja Turtles with the pizza. We got a whole bunch coming up today, y'all. Make sure you guys watch from start to finish. That really helps the channel grow. But with that being said, you know what we all came here for this hour-long banger. Let's get into it. Sit back, relax. Enjoy the show.
From the President of the United States. The United States of America has successfully carried out a large-scale strike against Venezuela and its leader, President Nicolas Maduro, who has been, along with his wife, captured and flown out of the country. This operation was done in conjunction with U.S. law enforcement. Details to follow, according to the president. There will be a news conference, he says, today at 11 a.m. at Mar-a-Lago. He then punctuates it, as he often does, with thanks for your attention to this matter. It is signed by the president.
I don't want to get down a weird rabbit hole here. Possibly in Mexico. The silver grizzly bear in the high Mexican Sierras.
What?
Ongoing reports of grizzlies. So the same species that would have been here, right, that hung out in the Sierras, it's of Mexico. And then in these, what they call sky islands, if you're familiar with that term. I'll explain in a second. These islands of isolated habitat up in the sky where they get more rainfall and everything else. There's big tracts of private land down there in Mexico where a couple of these farmers are like, something's killing my cattle and it's not a mountain lion. And it could potentially be like half a dozen Mexican grizzly bears.
Couldn't it be jaguars though?
Could be, but they're saying it's not cats. There's like reported sightings of seeing bears.
Really?
And if you look up the Mexican grizzly bear, you know, it was declared extinct 20 years before another one was killed. So they're like, nah, they're gone, they're declared extinct. Then 20 years later, some guy shoots one. But take a look at when the last one was killed, and then if you can find it, see where it says they were extinct, and it's
that is a fucking grizzly bear.
Did you guys see the video of the man that bought that house in Japan for $69? And people are in the comments, like Japanese people, that's a yokai house. So naturally, I do my research. So a yokai house is where supernatural beings live. So he bought a haunted house, and this guy's in the comments like, people are saying that's a yokai house. He's like, hopefully. When this guy walked in the house, there were still belongings in there. Like people had fled. There was like chairs. There was stuff in drawers still. There were family photos. And other people in the comment sections were like, well, it's an abandoned house. Why was it abandoned? But then I heard that that happens in Japan, which is really sad. Like people have to abandon their homes and then you can't go back for your home. And I have to do more research on that. I don't want to be disrespectful in any way. But the yokai can come to life. So what if like those chairs in this guy's new living room, what if those come to life? Like I'm invested. I want to know what happens here.
He says he was forced to make old food look fresh. That's why he secretly recorded his supervisor admitting tampering with best before dates is industry standard.
Every store does the same thing. All the other stores do the same.
At his home, Safari demonstrates what he says is done at work. He takes cheesecakes weeks past their best before dates, adds new toppings, and sells as fresh.
I decorate it, and I'm selling expired stuff for...
In a national online call-out, Marketplace hears from grocery workers at smaller stores and big chains, sharing stories of food tampering. He used to work in a Toronto area supermarket. He shows us how he was told to give old meat new life.
If it's like this, we would dabble in a little bit of blood, throw it into the meat mincer with some redder meats, and then all together it would make it look red. And then we put it back up on the shelf.
At the University of Guelph, a microbiologist simulated what grocery insiders told us they do. He discovered toxins and bacteria.
I've been seeing...
I believe it, y'all. I remember one time, Albertsons and Safeway, y'all. I've had bad luck. I've gotten food poisoning from their ground beef. And one time, I used to feed my dogs ground beef, right? I would give them some ground beef with their hard food with some bone broth mixed in there, right? One day I bought, some 93.7 ground beef for them. I put it in the refrigerator overnight because I was going to cook it, the next day. And when I woke up in the morning, it was literally gray and it stunk, y'all, just overnight. And I went shopping at night, y'all, in the evening. I went shopping in the evening. By the morning, that ground beef was rotten. And I took it back and I told the, the lady in the front, the manager or whatever, and she said, all she said was take it to the butcher. And she said they should be ashamed of themselves, right? Like they knew it was rotten, but they still put it out. Now, I didn't know what I know now, or else I would have made a big deal about it. Probably pulled out my camera phone and talked to him. But after long story short, I ended up getting some, free ground beef and rolling out. But I don't get my ground beef. You know who's got good ground beef that I've never had a problem with? Walmart, y'all. Walmart, I always have good. I've never had a problem with Walmart ground beef. Of course, you want to go natural from farmers, but who's got time for that? You know what I mean? Just be honest.
It was about
I
people
don't.
eating mermaids. Yes, I did say mermaid. Now, allegedly, mermaids are a party food for a certain group of people. Now, allegedly, the super rich have a favorite food, and it's mermaids. I've been seeing videos circulating around talking about people eating mermaids and shit, and is mermaids real? Now, most people catch exotic fish, but mermaids? So you telling me it's a human being with a fish out there in the ocean swimming around? So you telling me they actually finding mermaids in the ocean and fishing them out and then eating them like they caviar? So I guess you gotta ask yourself, where are they serving these mermaids at? Are they undisclosed big parties for the 1 percentile? Because again, you gotta be super rich to be eating mermaids. Does anyone else find this kind of strange that people are eating mermaids like caviar? What if you get invited to a party and they got mermaid on the menu? When I think of mermaids, I think about the Little Mermaid.
Do you know why the Korean K-pop guys look like little boys?
No.
Pretty little boys? It's because a Japanese man who was grew up in San Francisco, he's very rich. He loves young little boys. He went back to Japan. He's the founding father of Japanese pop.
Yeah.
So he started to get those pretty little boys to take those
Makes
hormone
sense.
things. So they maintain 14 years old, and he all of them. But because Japanese culture is the hierarchy, they don't. Even though they were, they thank him for making them famous, and then it influenced all Asia's beauty standard on men. Even you see Asian men now, the K-pop guys, they all look white skin, skinny little girls.
Yeah.
Because this one single Japanese American shaped the beauty standard of Asian men.
Well, I do own a time machine. I don't know if I regret it. The guy who sold it to me eventually went on to say that I was an alien. When I tried to ask him, I couldn't get back to 1952. He said,
that?
"You're
I
an
used to
alien.
love
I
Rob
know
Dyrdek.
you're
Right.
an alien."
Oh, so he said you fucked up?
Yeah,
Did you really buy a time machine?
I did. Yeah.
Tell me how that was sold.
There's a gentleman by the name of Art Bell. He had a talk radio show. And,
I know that guy.
And so I would listen to it all the time. And there was a guest, the great Stephen Gibbs, and he had created the hyperdimensional resonator, which was a time machine. And he was talking through the entire process of what it's like to go through time and all these different things. And I was like, this is fascinating. So he was talking about getting the time machine catalog. I was going to order the catalog. And then at the very end of the show, I wrote down the address. And then when at the very end of the show, it was like, how much is it? It was $375. And so I FedExed him a check. I'm like, I need one. And
$374 for a time machine?
Oh, and it
That's a
showed
good
up,
price.
and it's like,
You know why? Because he built it probably in the 1800s. That's like $5 million. It's inflation.
Yeah. And look, and he in our first conversation was amazing. He was like, okay, a couple things I got to warn you about. If you clean your garage, you might come back and it's dirty again, stuff like that. Maybe someone you knew in the past died. And I'm like, this, me and him talk so casually about time travel after I got it that was freaked out a little bit. Like, damn, I don't know if I'm ready to travel through time, And of course I asked, what do you think? Like, could you go back and get lottery numbers? He's like, oh, when you go through the zero vector point and you go through God,
I was gonna say
you're never gonna want you're never gonna want anything material ever again. Then I was really freaked out, right? And I laid it on my chest.
Wait, I want to hear
travel through time, and I just passed out. So I don't know. It could be. Look, this amazing life that I have right now at the Howie Mandel does stuff show with the kids and friends. Like, this could be time travel. You know what I'm saying?
Did you get in the machine?
No, it's literally like a box that you sit on the side and you put like a phone cord around your head and you put like a magnet on your chest.
How did you know you weren't going to get zapped?
Look, I was young.
Did you pass out? Did you pass out?
I did. I was drunk though when I tried to do the first one. You know what I mean?
They sit around a table and they make a list of all the people that they want to kill that week. and then they take it back to the CIA, which has a dedicated unit. I won't tell you the name, but it has a dedicated unit that takes receipt of the list. They say, okay, number one. They drive to the airport, they get on the plane, they go out to that country, they kill the person, they come back, and then they go to number 2 on the list.
Bro, what?
Left my soul.
I don't understand, y'all. Like, if you're going to expose it, expose it. Don't tell us, like, there's a secret part of the CIA. I'm not going to tell you the name of it, but they do this, this, and that. And then people are like, oh my God, like, you're allowed to say that. Because if you said the name of who it was, he'd probably be on that hit list. But they're like, go ahead, tell him. Just don't tell him the name. You know, go have some fun, get some views, get some money, whatever. Give him a little inside look of the CIA. But don't tell him our name. It's so annoying, y'all. If you're going to expose it, expose the damn thing. Like all these people that come out and talk about Hollywood, the producers, the big-time directors. Well, who was it? I'm not going to say his name. Then why even say anything?
That's why I know it sounds weird. But you leave your soul or something like that.
The video you just watched shows Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson almost admitting that he sold his soul. Doesn't it seem strange to you that in the late 90s, he was a nobody? In 1995, he failed in American football, got rejected by the NFL, and ended up with just $7 in his bank account.
And I was so broke, I got $7 in my pocket.
He then tried WWE under the name Rocky Maivia, and once again, he failed. He had nothing going for him, no reason to succeed. And then in 1998, he changed his name to The Rock, and overnight, his career completely exploded. The entire WWE only wanted him. Hollywood signed him. He started getting record-breaking paychecks. It straight up looks like a miracle. Except the video I showed you at the beginning seems to confirm the rumors that have followed him for years. The Rock's career wouldn't be the result of luck, but of a pact. By the way, shout out to the last 2 people who subscribed, and we're pushing for 20,000 subscribers. Love y'all. So back...
Oh, man, I thought it was over. Man, but what happened to The Rock? He just disappeared since he, lost all that weight for the movie, right? We haven't seen a Rock movie in a long time. There hasn't been nothing. Now, I was more a fan of The Rock back in the movie, the Snitch, even Gridiron Gang, that one with Johnny Knoxville, like more serious roles, not like playing somebody that's jumping out of a helicopter and, like action figure type star. I liked him in Snitch. I forgot that movie with Johnny Knoxville and Gridiron Gang, like more realistic roles.
The story goes that when he changed his name to The Rock, he was offered a deal, 20 years of success, money, and muscle. No drama, no setbacks. And you know this, for 20 years, his body has looked almost superhuman, his endurance nearly unreal. But no one ever gives anything for free. Someone always comes to collect what's owed. And that's why, at the beginning of this year, everything started to change. He disappeared from public view for a while, and when he finally reappeared, his appearance was shocking. He looked exhausted, thinner. Everything that made him The Rock seemed gone. But wait, here's the most disturbing part. According to this alleged contract, once the 20 years are over, he has to give everything back. And it's almost been 20 years since his career exploded. Look at what he looks like today. You won't believe it. He has 3 years left. So the question is the video I showed you at the beginning proof of all this? Or is it just age and stress catching up to him? Or has he already started paying back what he was given?
He came from like the gutters. The sewage manhole.
That's what I love about LA. All the damn vampires. Every time I turn around, every time.
So, here's an unpopular opinion, but one that I am convinced about. So the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they weren't actually heroes the way that we all believe that they were. In fact, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, in my opinion, this is all just speculation and only for entertainment TikTok, nothing else. But in my opinion, these guys were just a warring faction of all the other bad guys. For example, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they always battled with people like Shredder. Now, Shredder was probably their main arch enemy throughout this show. But every time they defeated this man, what did they always do to celebrate? They went back to their underground reptile lifestyle and they all ate cheese pizza time and time again. And if you remember back to your childhood, these guys absolutely loved pizza. They couldn't get enough of it. And if you don't understand the reference to cheese pizza right now, come into my comment section right here. Have a read of these comments because I guarantee you right now, you will see exactly what the reference is in the comment section. So if you do know, pop it in the comment section here and just tell everybody what it means. If you don't know, come into the comment section and learn. So yeah, just to recap, they left their underground reptilian tunnels. They came up to the top of Earth and battled away with other bad guys. Then they went back down into their reptilian underground tunnels and had cheese pizza. That's my theory. That's my speculation. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Oh, and if you're still not following me yet, what the flippin' heck have you been doing? Follow me, like the video, comment, repost, and then come over to my profile and tap this notification bell at the top here and click all, so you don't miss none of my future posts.
Let me know down below. I want to try to learn how to putting comments on here so we can go into the comments and maybe read a couple, because there is some interesting comments on these clips, y'all. I would like to start putting some comments, you know, somehow. I don't know how I would do it. Maybe switch to this screen and, you know, read some comments from, you know, some of the clips. Let me know down below if you guys would be interested in that.
And you have to use the bathroom or even get one.
You only use your spot.
That's the problem.
So what do you do with the bathroom?
What do you do? I'm retired. What did you do? I was a highway maintenance worker for 17 years. What's your name? Greg. Where are you from? Huntington, New York. And you were the first one in here. Yes, I was. I was the very first one in here.
I don't care what nobody says. I believe that statues come alive at night. I believe that statues come alive when no one is looking, when no one's paying attention. I believe statues come alive at night because they be. Y'all ever heard about the statue that's in Russia? It's called the Tartarian statue in Russia. Have y'all seen that statue? I want you to take the time out, right? Pause this video, right? I want you to go to Google, go to images, and type in Tartarian statue in Russia. And I want you to zoom in, and I want you to look at the statue, and I want you to see how detailed that statue is. I believe that that statue was petrified. It was frozen in time. Because when you look at that statue, when you look at the way the body is, the way the arms is, when you look at the detail of the robe and how the wind was blowing, when you look at the statue's hair, like it looks like the wind was blowing super heavy, and it looks like the statue was trying to kill something that was attacking her. I can't describe it, but I don't think anyone built that statue. I don't think that statue was built. I think that that statue was frozen in time. Okay? I think it's a petrified statue. I said all that to say this, okay? We've been lied to. We've been lied to. Our history is wrong, okay? We've been lied to so many times that if y'all believe that the way these statues look now, like if you was to walk past a building and you see a statue and it feels real, like the aura of the statue feels real, or you feel some type of energy from the statue, 9 times out of 10, that statue was frozen in time. Because ain't no way in the world, that statue was built. I believe that statue was built, I want to say back in 1960. I might be wrong. I could be wrong. But if you think about it, that wasn't that long ago. I was born in 1988. That statue, I believe, was built, quote unquote, in 1960, around that time. I could be wrong. But I don't think that statue was built. I think that was a giant, and I think it was frozen in time. Can you imagine if these things were to come alive? Can you imagine that? Even though I do believe that they come alive at night, but can you imagine if these things were to actually come alive in front of you? And did y'all see how big that statue is? That's a big ass statue. That statue gotta be about at least 490 feet tall. Or maybe 390 feet tall. I could be wrong, but that statue is big as fuck. Big. I'm just saying. I don't think some of these statues were built. I think that these were giants, and I think that they were frozen in time. I think they were frozen for a reason. And they want to make it seem like they built it. No, they didn't. Y'all stay woke.
I've been saying for ages that all high-level sports are fixed.
just not in the way that you would normally think. And this latest UFC scandal is nothing more than revelation of the method, if you like, slowly releasing to the public that high-level sports are not what you think. I'm sure we've all been aware in the last week that there is a scandal with the UFC where they're saying now for sure there was a fixed fight live for everybody to see. The FBI are now investigating 100 fights for fixing allegations. It's not new, it's been rife. They've been telling you for a long time. People just haven't been taking it seriously. From Derek Lewis on the Ariel Helwani show a few weeks ago, literally saying that he's received the script to win in the first round finish. From what you could argue is more obscure content, but if you've got eyes to see, it couldn't be any more in plain sight. Conor McGregor knocking out Jose Aldo with that hook, and then they released the footage from the changing room before the fight, practicing the exact move. Sean O'Malley hitting Aljamain Sterling with the straight, again, footage released from before the fight, practicing that exact move. Jorge Masvidal landing that knee on Ben Askren, God bless him, again, with the footage showing you him practicing that exact move just before. They've been telling you that this sport is fixed. It's plain as day. And again, it's not fixed in the way that you think. It's not mafia ran. It's not this guy's going to win, this guy's going to lose for money. It's a circus. It's designed to take your attention, and it's being ran by something much bigger than what most of you can even begin to comprehend. But that's another conversation for another time.
So it's finally 2026, and everybody's saying they're not paying taxes at all. Now, we've all seen the Minnesota fraud situation go down, which may lead to a tax revolt led by content creators, business owners, even politicians like Taylor Greene says national tax revolt underway. And for good reason, because not only $1 billion is in question in Minnesota, but now $5 billion is in question due to faulty payments made by the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Now, around 11% of taxpayers' dollars, which are rental assistance payments, went to more than 200,000 possible ineligible tenants, of whom, get this, over 29,000 were dead. What? Not to mention, 4% weren't even citizens, and another 82% were receiving sums that exceeded the threshold for the geographic region. But it gets even worse though. You guys, can anybody tell me why the Pentagon has failed an audit for the 8th straight time? Reports say the DOW has about $4.65 trillion in assets, but $4.7 in liabilities, leaving about $50 billion in question. Where's the money? I mean, we really have to take a look at the landscape of things, you guys, because when they do it, nothing happens. But when you fail an audit, you go to jail. I mean, how did we get here in the first place, you guys? Because before 1913, when the Federal Reserve was established, the federal income tax was deemed unconstitutional. But when they ratified the 16th Amendment establishing the Revenue Act of 1913, it was all downhill from there. Because since then, the US dollar's purchasing power has gone down over 97%. Now, the current US national debt is over $38 trillion. And I pose the question, how much of this is fraud? Because this seems like the biggest Ponzi scheme of all time. Make sure you guys get into my Telegram. Also, hit up my YouTube, The Maverick Approach. But let me know what you guys think about all this down below.
I constantly cry and whine about that damn near every video. Where's our tax dollars going? When are we going to come together and say, this side's not for me, this side's not for me? Where's our tax? I tell anybody, go take public transportation. Just take one stop to the next stop. Look how dirty it is. Look how dirty it is. Go take a, I don't know, go walk somewhere in public, y'all, and just look around. How much taxes we're paying? We should be this should be immaculate when you walk outside. It should be immaculate. Where's all these tax dollars going? Do you think we're ever going to march down Washington, D.C., not protesting, like, really making some noise together? Do you think that day's ever going to come?
Now,
I don't.
10 Commandments was found in Tennessee. 10 in the sea. Now watch this. 2,300 years was added to the Bible. That way you can add them characters. That way we won't figure it out. King Tut, king of Memphis. Alexander the Great, king of Memphis. King T, the king of Memphis. So check this out. The Lost Sea. It wasn't the Red Sea. It was the Lost Sea. But they didn't lie. Watch this. Tennessee. 10 in the sea. Tennessee. 10 in a sea. It wasn't the Red Sea. It was the Lost Sea, which is the second deepest lake in the world in Tennessee. And it appears red, often associated with the red clay, because it's so much red clay, it makes the sea appear red. Now, why in these hieroglyphics were they traveling down to get on a boat? Why are they traveling down? Remember, the Lost Sea, located 140 feet below the ground, the second largest in the world. All right? In Tennessee, we don't even know that. And there's red clay everywhere to make it look like it's red. Look at that. The 10 Commandments was in the Lost Sea, not the Red Sea. And the name Tennessee, they telling us. Remember, they have to tell you the truth. So check this out. This is 2,300 years. How could all this be? 323, he died. 1,323. King T, 323, 2,000. That was so they remember what they doing with all them 323s. That's virtually impossible. And all them kings of Memphis. 1,000 added here, 300 added here, and 1,000 added here. You get down your prophecy. 2,300 equals out to 2,300 exactly. Moses, 1,300 when he was around. Enochton was around in the 1,300s. Same thing. All of these people was around in around the same time. So look, Enochton, 1,353. All right, Moses, 1,300. It was a big destiny swap, y'all. That's all it was a destiny swap. They took the Pharaoh's lies and made up a lot of characters and gave it back to us in Christianity. And Christianity spelled backwards makes it sound narcissist. What do narcissists want to do? Destiny swap with you. 10 in the sea. 10 Commandments, baby.
I'm the girl who went super viral for drawing a map of Mall World, the place where I go in my dreams every single night. And if I'm going to be honest about what I truly think it is, it's got to be some type of like energy trap. It's some type of like low level matrix catcher for like, because I don't lucid dream. I have no interest in lucid dreaming. I don't astral project. I'm not trying to. However, I've had experiences in my life that caused some type of programming to happen in my brain where I am astral projecting against my will. And I'm going to this place because I'm not trying to astral project, like to go on to the Aurora Borealis or beyond the stars or somewhere cool. So the thing about Mall World is like the non-consensuality of it all. And if you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. The fact is like, it's not that you're there, it's that you don't want to be there. It's that you didn't ask to be there. And it's like you're trapped. You feel trapped when you're there. You genuinely feel like, I'm trying to leave, but I can't. I can't find the exit. I'm not allowed to leave. Nobody's here to sign me out. Like all these issues when it comes to trying to just like leave the location where you're at.
Did you see that video that came out 2 or 3 days ago, Art? Donald Trump was at a podium. He was at a podium with a bunch of Zionists. And the Zionists, I think he put his hand around President Trump and he said, he is the first Jewish president. And Donald Trump, I found it on the internet, Art. This is recent. This is only a day or two. He put his arm around Trump and he said, this is the first Jewish president. And Donald Trump's eyes got really wide because I don't think he expected that to be said about him. And you can see he did not want to agree with it, but he had no choice. And then right after the Zionists said, this is the first Jewish president, Donald Trump said, you're right, I am. When have you ever known anybody to bully Donald Trump into saying something he don't want to say, Art? When have you ever seen Donald Trump get bullied into saying something he didn't want to say? He did the other day. I'm telling you, Jeffrey Epstein was a Mossad agent, and his assignment was to entrap every high-ranking politician and businessman and entertainer in America, entrap them, and through blackmail, we will coerce them to do whatever we want them to do, or they will be exposed and imprisoned.
Pray for Nicki Minaj, y'all, because they definitely out to get her. Y'all know the rant she been going on? It wasn't for no reason. And y'all know who she mainly going up against, right? I know y'all gonna say Cardi, but no. Who's the head of the snake over at Rock Nation? Put it down in the comments. Y'all, read these posts that Nicki Minaj put out.
This thing was kind of crazy. I got you. I'll tell what's up. I'll tell you right now. Hold on. Are we okay? What happened?
Grand Theft Auto 6, from what I've heard, the reason why they've taken so long into rolling this out is because they want to make it so insane that they want to create a system that you're going to be playing in this game, and within this game you're going to be able to have jobs in Grand Theft Auto 6 and actually be making real money, similar to Ready Player One. Yeah, so now you're going to be able to like create wealth in the game, buy a house in the game, and have real job and generating income to be like stuck in the game even more, that you can actually generate money and pay your bills, pay all this stuff in the real world, but you're working in this virtual reality.
Okay.
Freaking mind-blowing. You didn't think that's crazy? People are gonna be stuck in this game. That I've even heard of people wanting to create like brands for this game for them to have like within the game. So let's say we have a hat brand.
Oh, to sell it like in the game?
Yeah. Isn't that freaking insane?
Yeah, but that would be smart, because then people are gonna be like, oh, I want to have my little avatar thing.
Yeah,
looking like this.
Yeah. That's freaking smart, dude. It's smart, but there goes to show you that people are gonna be more invested in the game rather than real life.
We just witnessed one of the largest heists in German history, and now it is causing absolute chaos amongst the bank's customers demanding answers. You see, on Monday morning, police were called to a bank for a possible fire, but instead they found a massive hole drilled into the basement wall leading into the bank's vault, and they found the place absolutely ransacked. A staggering 3,000 safe deposit boxes were forced open, containing jewelry, cash, and gold, making up 95% of the bank's inventory. Investigators say they believe the thieves used an adjacent parking garage to gain access, and that this operation required extensive planning, inside knowledge, and a significant criminal resolve to carry out.
It is really unique compared to anything I've ever seen, heard, or read. I have never heard of any similar case, except perhaps on TV.
The thieves were described by police as highly professional, and so much so that days later, not a single suspect has been apprehended. Investigators say that this theft was worth between 10 and 90 million euros, which could make it one of Germany's largest ever.
So you're telling me in 1973, somebody created the cell phone? How did, even now I don't understand. Did somebody create this device to where I can call somebody that's in Australia in real time? These frequencies leave my phone, go into a cell tower. How did that, how does a phone work? How do I call somebody in another country at a different time, on a different, do the frequencies travel overseas? Or it's got to be like the greatest invention of all time. It's better than the light bulb. FaceTime? What? But did they use black magic? Like, how do you sit in a position like you're creating something, like inventing something, and then it's like, oh, it works. Now I can call my grandmother that lives in Greece. Yeah, nice. How do you tell somebody this? You go to your friend and you're like, check this out. Like, how?
Finna tell me, you are not finna tell me that this was just a museum. I'm trying to tell you, this Chicago old world, this had a palace. Look at it. Look at it. Look at the architecture. This is crazy. It's definitely an old world palace turned into a museum with a totem pole in the front.
You will never catch me at a ski resort, because one year I had to write my legal research paper on ski resorts here in the United States, and the information had my jaw on the floor. For those who don't know, my name is Trey. I post your favorite legal content, and I teach you that you don't have to be a lawyer to be a legal boss. Anyways, what I found out my 1 year in law school is that ski resorts are what's considered inherently dangerous activity. Even if you're just dropping your child off at a ski resort, if you go into the resort itself, you are still engaging in inherently dangerous activity, more than likely in the eyes of the law. And what that means is that when you're engaging in the sport or just the activity of skiing, there are so many injuries that occur in skiing that the law takes a perspective that it's inherently dangerous, that you are assuming the risk of sustaining injuries, even if you're not doing anything, even if you are just skiing and someone is coming that should have been marked off better, 50 miles per hour, 250 pounds, and crashes into you stationary, just sitting there, you still will have a difficulty holding the ski resort liable. Now, this is important because there are so many injuries that occur on ski resorts that if you were able to hold the ski resort liable, most ski resorts would get shut down in the United States because they would not have the money to pay out how many damages that occur and people hold them liable. So the law has taken the perspective that since ski resorts are inherently dangerous activities, there is a higher burden that you have to meet in the courts in order to hold them liable for your injuries. So that means if you go out there and you break your neck, your back, and everything in between at a ski resort, more than likely, the ski resort is not going to pay you a penny. So I pray that you have health insurance. And in this economy, you probably don't.
If a group of people, I'm just going to go ahead and say it like this. About 7,000 years ago, around that Scandinavian area, the white human showed up. Okay. Even Farrakhan spoke about a time when they didn't exist here on this planet. Their DNA only goes back 7,000 years. Then we also seen this group ban abortions because their birth rate has been in decline. Now, the alleles in their skin, where did that come from? You see what I'm saying? This is the only group of people on the planet who have tried to colonize everybody. If you was originally from this place, why would the sunlight burn your skin? Every other indigenous population on the planet is black, brown-skinned people. So if they could show up here, somebody else could show up here. It's only mathematics. Mathematically, it'll be impossible for us to be the only species. Impossible.
But why would they kill all 9 people on the plane crash? Why would they kill 9 innocent people? Because it's a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice. How many people were unalived at Diddy's little basketball shindig? 9. The people who come into my page right now, listen. If you are a Beyonce and Jay-Z fan, you might want to block me, okay? Because it's about to get deep. I don't believe in the Illuminati, the elites, all that good shit. Block me. Because until you understand this on a numerology level, this on a spiritual level, until you understand what sacrifices are, and I'm not talking about you sacrificing your rent money to pay your car. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Talking about human sacrifice. They don't just come in ones, okay? They don't just come in 2s, 3s, 6, 9, and so forth, okay? But if you don't understand any of this, my page isn't for you, and I'm not about to sit here and argue with you back and forth. I'm going to block you. Team Goddess, let's do the shit.
July 7th, 1999. I bought a hamburger, McDonald's hamburger. I think it was 79 cents in Logan, Utah. There's the sack that it came in. That was the wrapper it was in. And that's disintegrating more than the hamburger is, probably. There it is. My gosh. It hasn't changed. The pickle's the only thing that's disintegrated. This is actually the receipt. I had to put it in plastic. It was just gonna be gone. Do you want to smell it? That cardboard?
Cardboard, yeah.
That hamburger is 20 years old.
Yeah.
I don't know, y'all.
Reaction to see-
Were they still making buns paper thin back then whenever he bought that? Right? Or did it just over time shrink a little bit? I don't know. What do you guys think? Is this guy trying to pull a fast one?
Like this.
Scary. It's a real conundrum.
Did they even have
This is
receipts in the
crazy. I mean, it
70s?
looks like you could just heat this up in a microwave and just eat it. I mean, you probably die.
Good thing you keep it in a little sarcophagus because you got the King Tut of hamburgers here. It dried so fast that there was no way that the bacteria or mold could grow into it and make it nasty.
Do y'all remember when the entire internet was just talking about the drones that were flying all over the Northeast? You know, and then shortly after this, we found out Palantir has a government surveillance contract with our government. We already know they're surveilling us, you know, RoboCop style, where they're flying drones all over the place, but now we know they're probably just testing those drones during all that time. Because we already know that Big Brother is always watching. And to add one more thing, around this time, Peter Thiel, you know, that lizard man that pretty much runs Palantir, he was getting softballed a bunch of questions on different podcasts. But I guess all that timing had nothing to do with each other. You know, funny thing about Peter Thiel, he was actually one that during an interview paused when they asked him, would you prefer the human race to endure, you know, in the context of AI and the future of humanity? And instead of saying yes, you know, he had a really long, creepy fucking pause about if humans should continue to survive. He did eventually say yes to that question, but then quickly pivoted to discussion about radically transforming humanity through technology, you know, transhumanism. It just seemed like that hesitation on asking if humanity should continue to exist kind of seemed like Till was wrestling with the idea. You know, Till has a bunker in New Zealand, you know, the only place that'll survive a nuclear apocalypse, so, you know.
Would you be surprised if I told you that 1/3 of Gen Z has already passed away?
Wow.
Oh. Could you guess what that cause is?
Gun violence? Yeah, I'd have to say gun violence, vehicular accidents.
Probably something to do with like social media, like mental health. Maybe mental health issues.
Yeah, that's what came to mind first.
Cancer? I'm gonna go with cancer. Maybe obesity, diabetes, or diseases in a sense, yeah. Poor healthcare, starvation.
What generation are you guys?
I think we're Gen Z.
Gen Z.
Gen Z, yeah.
What year were you born?
1999.
Oh yeah, I think you made the cutoff for Gen Z.
Yeah.
Right. What if I told you that 1/3 of your generation, Gen Z, has actually already passed away?
I would believe that, actually.
What do you think it would be from?
Drug use? Drug use?
Like weed or something.
Drugs, alcohol, fentanyl. Fentanyl. Drugs. Probably drug overdoses.
What if I told you that 1 in 3 members of Gen Z has been aborted? Oh. That's... Wow. But I did not know that was, like, the leading cause.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I didn't even think about that. That's not super surprising, though.
Would you be surprised if I told you that 1 in 3 members of Gen Z has actually been aborted? Does that surprise you at all?
Yes.
Yes. Not really that surprising because many young girls who get pregnant by accident abort their...
I'm sorry I have to address that last guy. Little girls or young girls getting pregnant by accident. So you're saying them making the decision to sleep with someone is an accident. It's not an accident. They're choosing to do that. If the best birth control out there is to just not have sex. So that statistic is alarming. Wow. I'm speechless.
When did the NFL go from the NFL is gay to being all about Jesus Christ, the Lord and Savior?
The possession for the Rams, what were you thinking?
Well, first off, I got to give honor to God. Jesus has put us through a lot of adversity, but in this moment right here, he let us get this win. So,
You ready for Mahomes and the Chiefs?
Yeah, we'll go back to work. Want to give all glory and honor to Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior.
Who is Jesus to you?
Jesus is my Lord and Savior. It's someone that I look up to every single day to decide what I want to do with my life and how I want to live my life.
5th straight win. What does this mean for this team and this organization?
It means everything, man. It starts, with just practice and preparation. But, for me, it all goes back to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And
Hey, real quick, I just want to say this, man. Been through a lot this year, but earlier this week, I told a couple of guys this, man. I found myself feeling stuck, bro. And I found myself feeling like I was missing something. And what I was missing was God, man. I got back on my knees. I started back praying, bro. And just look at what we got, man. Look at what's there.
What was the mindset coming into this night, knowing you had to win this game?
First of all, I just want to give thanks to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Congratulating you. You look like you were having a ton of fun out there, especially towards the end of the game. How do you think you grew from last game to this game?
I think that it all boils back down to where my foundation is, and my foundation in Jesus Christ allows me to just remain level in every situation because
First to start, as always, the light is shining bright on the Texans, but that light is really reflective of our guys' belief in the Lord and Savior, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, like that.
First things first.
It is kind of fishy. There's two things with this. One, I mean, damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? They got yelled at for censoring it, or they got complained on for censoring it, and now they're getting complained on for letting it be out. That's one. Two, maybe the veil was starting to get lifted a little too much. They had to, dumb down the average person watching football. Like, let's give them some. We're losing ratings because of this and that. We need to allow. I don't know, y'all. What do you guys think? Is it a bad thing they're starting to let this happen? Because when they censored it, it was a bad thing. Remember when that Texans quarterback during the playoffs a couple years ago, we had it on our video here, where they censored that part out? I mean, we see Coca-Cola when you were allowed to put names on the Coca-Cola can. There was one name you couldn't. Were they just getting a little too out in the open with it? People ain't as asleep as they think they are, and they started losing sales. So they have. What do you guys think? Let me know down below what you guys think. Are you cool with that? Are you not?
The Most High and his Son does not care about a scripted game created by skull and bonesmen, ran by a phallic-worshipping cult for the purposes of Zionist numerology.
Man, you played in there.
He does not care the outcome of football games. And a lot of us who are in the league, we fell under this spell of praying before games and praying after games as if it meant any difference in the outcome or any purpose during those 3 or 4 hours, just for us after the game to be drunk, smoke weed, and fornicate. We were really under the delusion of Christianity, thinking that the Most High cared about what we did for a system that was set up to put us in perpetual slavery, spiritually, mentally, and physically. We weren't sent over here to be athletes. We were sent over here for a purpose, was to learn who we are, come back to who we're supposed to be, and follow all the law, statutes, commandments. Now, the people that we're talking in this clip, you have to know by now that they're Freemasons. Most of them are. But you should know the reason why everybody's being Jesus Christ, Lord and Savior happy is they're trying to funnel you into a Luciferian doctrine because you follow no law, statutes, commandments that make you set apart from the rest of the world. It is a trap, and the reason why they got specifically quarterbacks to say Jesus Christ, Lord and Savior. If you look at scripture, it completely negates why we should be calling this man Jesus Christ. If any say that they know him and guard not his commandments is a liar and the truth is not in him. That name is not backed up by truth. I already talked about this when I posted the video about Hanukkah and what the Grecians did to the Temple of Jerusalem. You should also know that they set up gymnasiums and placed to throw discus in the true Holy Land. So I know the Most High doesn't care about the bread and circus created by the same people who crucified his son. Doesn't it also say that if any come in his own name, him you will receive? But I come in my Father's name. So if his Father's name is not God or Lord, and it's actually Yahuwah, wouldn't the Son's name kind of mirror his Father's name? Because there's no J in the Hebrew language. And the letter J wasn't invented but 500 years ago. So if they translated Yahusha to Yeshua and Yeshua to Isos, and now you're turning it into Jesus and then going back to Yeshua, which only means salvation in Hebrew, y'all are really going around and around and around for the purpose of Albert Pike's 3 World War letter that anyone disillusioned with Christianity will fall for the Luciferian doctrine. Period.
I don't know, y'all. All I know is when Larry Johnson was best friends with that NFL, when he scored, he put up that rock sign, right? That Jay-Z and Beyonce put up every touchdown. He put that up every touchdown. But you have a fallout with some people, and I don't know. I don't know. Some rubs me the wrong way with Larry Johnson, y'all. That might be the last time we see him on Segovia Reacts.
Exactly when you know you're about to be successful. Now, if you pay close attention, you'll see that this dude is possessed by some sort of demon or something. First off, shout out to the homie for keeping his composure. The facts are that when you're doing great things, it makes people uncomfortable because it reminds them about everything that they're not. Let's keep it a buck. Nobody notices average. But the major key we could get from this interaction is emotional reactions will actually ruin your performance far more than the actual disruption itself. So this right here is inevitable. And a wise man once said, if you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping. So if you do have some haters, congratulations. That means that you're on your way.
Switch people out. And he does it right in front of them. And he says like, yo, bro, like, I'll switch your wife out and I'll put another one of your wife inside of her body. And they're walking around and you think that's your wife and it's not your wife. This is what's going on. It's no longer, like I said, it's no longer spiritual. We figured out how to, turn into spirit and exchange the soul in order to control the vessel. So if I have the vessel and I'm just nothing but spirit, I can ruin your life. That's what everybody has been going through. So everybody they can't recognize it unless you say things like the switch. So when they watch that and they see that there's other people that can identify other than me, it's not just me playing games. It's the truth. We have to be careful with who we want. You'll be in the car with Paul, man, but you're really in the car with Peter. But that's Paul's body. But why is Peter in Paul's body? I've been going through this for a while in order to figure out and identify every soul inside of every vessel.
And body jumping from body to body. When the body wears out, jump to the next body through eye transfer. So they'll take the point of death of the person. They'll draw the energy from the eyes and then take the soul. The soul comes out through the eyes, and then you can go in. Also in through the eyes.
Of a child?
Yes.
And replace the
switch
soul.
it up. Yeah, and keep that one. Yeah. Yeah. The awareness level also stays. The awareness level stays. So she would not lose her memories like we do. When we go through our cycle, we have amnesia.
So she remembers everything from 7,000 years?
Yes.
Well, I remember actually going to the moon base. So there is a moon base. It's hollow. Yep. It's artificial structure. It's come from another part of the galaxy, transporting other ET races here. We flew there. Now, the transportation was interesting at the time. We were catapulted it's like a tube, and there was no propulsion. We were slingshotted from the gravity of Earth to the gravity of the moon. We hooked it and then came in. We landed on the far side of the moon. We came into a base where the door was open. We went inside. Now, once we're inside, that's when things got interesting. That's when we started to have our integration. Now, we'd already had a little bit of integration with little grays. Little grays had come in. We'd learned more telepathy from them, some other skills that they taught us, how to work with the looking glass technology and so forth. Now we're actually going to work with big grays, the large grays. So the large grays are, I look at the little grays as basically being cloned little slaves, unfortunately. And they basically do whatever they're told to do. The large grays are thinkers. They're the ones that are proactive, have free will, like we have free will, and they're working with us. So they were kind of standoffish to us because we're not advanced. And that's the way it was. Really, all the different ETs that we saw in there, and I saw many different types. They usually had their own areas inside there. We had our own area. There's large cities inside the moon, and different size cities throughout the moon.
7 things you didn't know about the Aurora movie theater tragedy.
Well
planned attack, not only because of this explosive.
Our number one, the exit door that he went out of didn't have an alarm. On July 20th, 2012, the Century 16 Theater was doing a midnight showing of The Dark Knight Rises. It was a sold out show with over 400 people in the two theaters. So James Holmes, the guy who shot the place up, he had been planning this for a while and scoping out the theater. So he bought a ticket that night, and it was actually for theater number 8, but he went to number 9 because there was more people in it, and probably because it was closer to the exit that he parked near. So when he first went in, he was wearing normal clothes, but he had parked his white Kia by an exit door of the theater that he had chosen. This is surveillance footage of him entering the theater. So as you can see, he's just wearing normal clothes here. But he left his armor and guns and everything in his car that he parked on the side of the theater. And it's just so creepy that all of these people just have no idea what's about to happen.
It is, man.
So he
You
ends
never
up sitting
know.
near the front row, so he has
It's
easy
terrifying.
access to the side exit. And about halfway into the movie, survivors said that they saw someone get up and go to the side exit and go outside, but they propped open the door so it wouldn't lock behind them. Now most doors like that are supposed to have an alarm that goes off if anyone opens it, but that one didn't have it, and that probably could have stopped this whole thing from happening. So he walks over to his car and gets his ammo and puts on a gas mask, and he goes in looking like Bane. Survivors said that they remember him coming back in, and all of a sudden there was an explosion and then smoke and a weird smell. And that was the tear gas explosives that he had, and then he started opening fire with his rifle. At first people thought the explosives were part of the film and that this was like some act that they were putting on for the premiere. But then, as the bullets started flying, they realized quickly what was happening. And number 3, what makes it even creepier is the movie kept playing the whole time, adding to the chaos. He was using a high-powered rifle at point-blank range. Survivors said that the gun shops came to a stop for a few moments, and some of the people made a run for it, running right by him. But the reason is because his gun had jammed up, which likely saved a lot of lives. 70 people ended up being injured and 12 people ended up dying. And it gets way crazier, and we're going to pick it up in part 2, and we're going to cover a survivor's story.
It's so terrifying, y'all. So terrifying. Like, you never know. Like, so many people probably looked at that dude, gave him a little head nod. You ready for this movie? Yeah, can't wait. You know what I mean? Like, you just never know who you're passing when you're walking by people, what their intentions are, what's on their mind. You just never know. And it can happen anywhere. And that's what's terrifying.
Bro, but I be feeling like celebrities know when their time is up. I feel like celebrities know when their time is up. It's this thing called the soul contract, right? And I feel like what the soul contract is that when they go to sign that contract because they want to get rich and they want to be famous, right? For fame, for fortune. I feel like when they go ahead and sign that soul contract, I feel like there's a date at the bottom that says you will die at a certain day, a certain year, a certain hour. I mean, just think about it, right? Michael Jackson, Tupac, Whitney Houston, like all the celebrities that passed away. I just feel like there is no coincidence when it comes to a celebrity death. And I feel like every time a celebrity passes away, they either pass away from a drug overdose, or they die in their sleep somehow, or they just mysteriously have a heart attack. But if you think about it, every celebrity that passed away was either on drugs or some type of overdose or some type of something. Like I just feel like there's no coincidence. So with the soul contract, when you go to sign that soul contract, I really feel like there is a date at the bottom that says your time is up on such and such day, such and such year, such and such hour. I really do feel like celebrities know when their time is up. I don't know. I could be wrong. But I really do feel like celebrities be knowing when their time is up. That soul contract, like once that soul contract expires, bitch, you're going to expire. Like your life is going to expire. I don't know, like I really feel like that. I would never forget a few years ago when Cardi B said that she wanted out. Okay, sis said she wanted out. Okay, and she spoke in codes, but if you know, you know. So I don't know, like I really do believe that celebrities know when their time is up. That shit's scary as fuck. Like that shit mad scary. Like a soul contract and it got the date of when you're gonna be deceased. I don't know, like I really
Godless sodomites. Kneel before your God, Babylon!
I have a history book from 1903 that just admitted to the start of whitewashing American history. Within this period, too, there has been a gradual but constant shifting of the point of view from which the history of a country is regarded, and of the methods employed in teaching it. Descriptions of battles and of movements of armies have come to be considered of less importance, and the social conditions and industries of the people of far greater importance than they formerly were. I'd like to point out this is 1903. There has been no World War yet. The battles that they're referring to that they don't think are as important to talk about is going to be against Native Americans and the Civil War. And they make it sound like they're just not telling you, like, all the details of the plans, but they're not telling you how many people they killed. They're not telling you how they killed these people. They're not telling you how brutal it was. They're just telling you there was a war. That's all you need to know. There was a little tussle. That's all you need to know. And that was more than 100 years ago, so imagine all the shit we don't know now.
The Memphis rap scene in the 1990s was on a whole different vibration. It utilized dark satanic imagery, horror movie storytelling, and production that felt like a haunted VHS tape. This scene was composed of lo-fi cassette culture, music dubbed and traded and sold in the street through underground distribution networks. Fans started calling the symbols on old flyers in Memphis rap sigils. Legends like 3 6 Mafia, Lord Infamous, Skinny Pimp, and the infamous Psycho. These guys made music so dark that some people, even to this day, believe Memphis is cursed. My question is, how did this culture all emerge at once? Was there an underground group practicing real occultism in Memphis in the 1990s? Or was it more of a meme that just grew naturally off of a few groups embracing horror? I don't know. What do y'all think?
So have y'all seen this map floating around that's supposedly an island where all the billionaires are going for New Year's Eve? And at the same time we're seeing this, there's rumors floating around that other countries are canceling or at least scaling back their New Year's Eve celebrations. I'm not going to sit here and say any of that's connected. I'm not even saying anything definitive. I'm just sitting here putting it out there. It's just the fact that all those little purple dots on this map are allegedly the world's richest people hiding on an island while the rest of the planet is being told to maybe keep it quiet this year. You know, they're probably getting ready for their mermaid buffet, arguing about which one pairs best with a $40,000 bottle of wine. Because I'm not quite sure if mermaid is fish, so I don't know if you can drink red wine with that one. And then somewhere nearby, someone's opening up their Wayfair cabinets. And obviously this is just a screenshot of a map. We don't know if any of this is true, and we don't really know for sure if all these countries are scaling back their New Year's Eve celebrations. You know, it kind of just gets me thinking about that Bob's Burgers episode where he goes to that island to be a personal chef.
Can I take the blindfold off? I'd love to be able to see things again.
I guess we should all be grateful that we weren't invited to an island where the entertainment traditionally runs.
Can you name the 8 American foods banned in other countries?
Oh, I know one of them right off the bat.
What is it?
Skittles.
Skittles are banned in other countries. That's not on my list, though. That's a candy, not a food. What's a good pasta?
Corn dogs!
No, corn dogs are fine. I'm going to give you hints because this is tough. First one is a brand. It's very cheesy.
Kraft mac and cheese.
Kraft mac and cheese is banned in other countries. It contains artificial yellow dye 6, which is banned in parts of Europe. Next one's a circle.
Raviolis. Ritz crackers.
Ritz crackers is banned in other countries. Same reason. It contains artificial yellow dye 6.
Those are actually bad for you, though.
One goes in your coffee.
Creamer.
Yes, Coffee Mate Creamer. It has hydrogenated soybean oil and cottonseed oil.
Sounds
I used to drink that a lot.
It's linked to heart disease. What's something that comes off the tree?
Pineapples.
Hit Newton in the head.
Coconuts.
American apples.
American apples.
They're coated in something called DPA, and it can lead to causes of cancer. What's the greatest invention in food?
Sliced bread.
American bread includes a dough conditioner that's also used in yoga mats.
What are we talking about?
It's banned in 30 plus countries. What's a cereal based off apples?
Oh, Apple Jacks.
That's a great guess. That's not what I meant.
Fruit Loops.
Fruit Loops has too many artificial dyes. Apparently it's built like candy. The next two are meat. One's in the ocean.
Salmon.
American salmon.
What?
In America, it's farmed, not wild salmon.
Oh, I watched the whole documentary on this.
They add synthetic coloring to the fish feed. They need the last one, pretty similar.
Shrimp. Pork.
American pork is banned in other countries.
Wow.
They use a drug to boost growth and lean out the meat. It's banned in 160 plus countries.
Pork is really bad for you.
And us Americans still eat it. I will not eat pork in America.
Well, I mean, do we even get our meat from America? You know, don't we get that from other countries anyway? So it's probably banned here too, right? Banned in America. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you made it this far, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Y'all, I can smell it. I can smell it from upstairs, y'all. I got some jerky. Mama Bear bought me a dehydrator for Christmas, so I finally got some top round roast cut up. and it's in the dehydrator as we speak. So I'll be sure to post a little picture of that, see how it comes out. First time doing it, so we'll see how it comes out, y'all. But that's it. I'm gonna get outside, take down the Christmas decorations today. I was supposed to do it yesterday, but it was super windy and ugly outside. Today's gonna be a nice 70-degree day out there. Now, no wind, nice and sunny. So I'm gonna get out there and take down the Christmas lights, and that's about it today. Maybe take the baby on a nice walk today. But he started crawling the other day. Oh, y'all. I dropped a couple tears seeing my boy crawl to me, y'all. It was a beautiful thing to see. And then he started standing up in his crib. Like, he's starting to hit these milestones, y'all. And, I would always tell Mama Bear, like, we'd watch videos on how to crawl. Just let him do it on its own. We don't need to rush it. He's only going to be, stationary once, right? He's only going to lay on his back and roll over on his stomach and once. Just let him do it with time. Let's not rush walking. He's only going to be a baby once. Just let him do it when he's ready, y'all. Because for a while I was like, man, I feel like he's falling behind. He's not standing, he's not crawling, right? Just listening to what society tells you what your kid should be doing. But then I was like, you know what? He's only going to be sitting down on his butt once, right? Once he starts crawling, he's not going to want to stop. Once he stops walking, he's never going to crawl. Right. So I was like, just let him live life and just do it at his own pace. And, seeing him crawl, y'all, it brought a tear to my eye. It's a beautiful thing, y'all. Beautiful thing. If you guys are interested, on my second channel yesterday, I got into why Gen Z doesn't want to have kids, y'all. So, just seeing things like that, little landmarks like that, mile markers, of milestones of your kid, checking off a checklist, y'all. It's a beautiful thing. But anyways, I'm gonna get out of here, y'all. Get going with my day. I hope everyone out there has a good day. I'll see you guys tomorrow on the next one. This is Segovia signing out of the Man Cave. Later.